everyone, this is Danielle, also known as Gently Smiling Jaws, and welcome to my Flosstube. This is going to be a speed run of a Flosstube because I was actually considering not doing a video this week just because I got into a bit of a slump with my stitching. I haven't been stitching much. What I have stitched I am very excited about, but yeah, I just haven't gotten much stitching in over the past 2 weeks, and then also this weekend is the Northwest Tea Festival, so I will be busy, but I'm gonna try and filming this on a Friday after work, trying to film it and get it edited and uploaded and scheduled so I don't have to worry about it after today. So we'll see how this goes. It's since I'm doing this sort of on short notice, have not really planned. I don't have any tea to share today. I just grabbed my water bottle and have some water. This weekend will be filled with tea. This video will not be. I think I may do a maybe I'll do it as an extra video instead of waiting for my next scheduled Flosstube to talk about the tea festival and show what I pick up. But yeah, we will see. So to get on to the stitching that I have done, and I'm actually not quite sure how many stitches I did because as I was looking through my log, I didn't there was one day I didn't write down the number of stitches. I haven't had time to go back and calculate and figure it out, so I'm not worrying about it. This is the one whip that I have worked on since my last filming, and it is Fish and Ships. So I have done, I did go in and do like some of the back stitching on the lighthouse over here, but the main thing is in this area where I have started adding in the Brennan needle speckled floss. So got the whale is January, and the crab, I know I mentioned the name of it in the last video, but I do not have it written down. And I am very happy, let's see if I can get that up here, with how it has turned out. After I stitched the whale, and I will, I'll insert a picture of what it looked like before. I like how the whale looks on the fabric, but the negative space, like those birds and the part of the whale, was there wasn't enough contrast, and I wasn't happy with that, but I certainly wasn't going to redo the whale. I wanted it in this floss. I wasn't going to pick it out, so I took the Silken Color, not Silken Colors, Silks for You that I've been using for the rest of this and stitched in the negative space. The one thing that I wish that I had done, I realized it too late, and the way I had stitched it, I wasn't gonna unpick and redo it. But if I had been, once I saw it, I wished I had thought of it sooner, but I did not ultimately do it. On the whale's mouth, since I stitched in the negative space, instead of doing full cross stitches, I should have done half stitches because then it would have looked like baleen. And I realized that as I was doing the stitching, I was like, I like this, but not enough to unpick a bunch of stitches in order to redo the stuff I had already had done as full stitches. So maybe an idea that somebody else can use, but it wasn't to be for me. So yeah, I am quite happy with how this is turning out so far. And let's see, I know at this point I'm over a quarter of the way through now, so it's certainly coming along. So yeah, I'm excited as to how it's turning out, and we'll see how things go. So as I mentioned, this is the one and only project that I worked on. I meant to go and do the plants and petrichor salve because there really isn't that much stitching that I need to do, and maybe I'll find time to fit that in this weekend and catch up because it's not a lot of stitching. I just haven't done it. I don't have much of an excuse, but that is that. The other thing I was going to mention is books. I have continued listening to audiobooks. Usually it's when I've been cross-stitching, and so that's why I've kind of slowed down on my audiobook listening, since I haven't done as much cross-stitching these last few weeks, but I still have been listening here and there when I can, so I've been continuing along. And I had mentioned that I was going to do a reading journal next year. I started using so where I keep track of my cross stitching in my Hobonichi weeks, there are some blank pages, and I just dropped something out there. There are some blank pages at the back that normally I don't use. I am starting to do like a little reading journal, so I don't have a whole lot in here yet, and I was thinking about using this through the end of the year and then moving into a different journal starting next year that was just for reading. And I had planned to do kind of the regular size Hobonichi day free. Now I'm sort of reconsidering as to what I want to do this in, and whether I want to wait until next year, or whether once I figure out what I want to put this in, I kind of transfer this info over into what I'm going to use and just not have it by year, just kind of keep it going until it's filled up, and then move on to a new journal. Yeah, I think that having this, it's kind of gotten me more excited to read things, and I'm slowly getting back into the habit, which is nice. And yeah, the one book that I wanted to mention, not because it's a book that I would really be recommending to a lot of people, because like all the trigger warnings for this thing, and I read it thinking it was another book, and I'm trying to figure out what book I thought it was, because sometimes I'll read book reviews in the New York Times. In this case, I had read a book review. I think it was like how your phone will give you a list of various articles it thinks you would like. One of them was like book reviews, and I don't remember which publication this was in, because I thought I'd seen it on the New York Times. I'd searched back through there, couldn't find it. So I don't know what publication this was in. This is long enough ago. I don't have it in any of my like browsing or search history. I can't find it. But the book that I'm trying to find is a book where it was mentioned that it was kind of like a thriller, where there had been something about a teacher or professor who had been having inappropriate relationship with students, and the student was going to get revenge on him, and it sounded like it involved like a cabin in the woods or something. And so I thought, okay, well, that's pretty dark subject matter, but if it's kind of a thriller, maybe that's something I would read. So it was in the back of my mind. I didn't have plans to read it, but as I was looking through the audiobooks that were available at my library to check out like right now, because I have things on hold, but I was looking for something immediately. One that came up as available was My Dark Vanessa, and I recognized the name as having heard it before. I think because the other review had mentioned that book in the review of this other book, and so I mistakenly thought, oh, this is the book. So I checked it out, started listening to it. I got to the halfway point and I realized this is not the book. And yeah, all the trigger warnings for that. I still finished the book. It's not a book that I particularly want to reread anytime soon, if ever, because the subject matter is what it is. But it was sort of an interesting look at that through the eyes of the main character, due to how everything played out. she hadn't really come to terms of what had happened to her was wrong and how bad it was. So yeah, not something I am recommending people going out and reading, but I really want to know what book I thought I was reading. And even if I find it, I think that it's more of I want to make note of it to read it later, because after reading that book, I think I need a span of time before I go back to anything with that subject matter. Alright, the last thing I want to mention is I always have the info down in my description box about the Connecting Humanity program where you can donate eSIMs that they give to folks in Gaza. And they have been posting a lot of stuff recently that they have been running very low on donated eSIMs, and so I just wanted to kind of mention this again, where if it's something where you're able and are interested in donating, just look for the links down in the description box. So that is my very short Flosstube, and I'm going to try and get this edited and scheduled, and you may see a short Tea Festival related video before I do my next Flosstube, in which I should hopefully have more stitching to share. So that's it for today. Thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.